Starting. Okay, welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses, or if you are already doing it, how to grow your business. So I've dealt with this question now for years, and I want to share my very strong views on it. So I got a comment, and it said, I'm a little confused. Is cold calling illegal or legal? Because I was reading something about the FTC. I needed to have a registry from the FTC so you know who not to call. So is cold calling illegal? So I think this all starts from something that happened, and I really mostly know what's going on in New York. But when the pandemic hit, our wonderful governor at the time, Andrew Cuomo, said it's illegal to call people. Right? I now understand. New York was really the epicenter of the pandemic. For 5 months, I'm really March, April, May, June, July, even August, people were terrified here. This was ground zero, right? I know people in Newark Show where they brought the National Guard out to quarantine them, right? I know the guy who was the first difficult case of COVID in New York. He lived, actually. And this was really a place where people were terrified, right? And people died. No doubt people died. I think the numbers are crazy skewed, but whatever. People died from it. And our governor, our since resigned governor, decided you should never call anybody because God forbid somebody should be in their house and get cold called by somebody. So when that happened, right, I pretty much shut down the business for 5 months. But then when it started, I in no way ever felt, and I still feel very strongly, that there was ever going to be any enforcement of the no cold calling rule. I said, and again, the world was falling apart at that point. I didn't even know if there was going to be real estate business going. I really thought the market was going to crash. But I'm like, of all the things that the government has to worry about, are they really going to hire people who are going to go take complaints from people who said they got a cold call from this number, go skip trace that number, find the guy, and go arrest him for cold calling, right? They declared a state of emergency. Since then, I've gotten calls constantly from people saying, you can't cold call, it's illegal. Who are these cold calling police, right? So here's what I will say. Cold calling is not and never was illegal, except during the state of emergency, which for all I know is still going on in New York State. But I never stopped it because I just cannot imagine, I cannot fathom a world or a possibility where someone is going to come to me and say, hey, did you cold call this person when you weren't supposed to? So what there is there is a DNC, a do not call list. That is a national list. And if you are concerned about violations, you should scrub your list of people to call through that DNC, through the do not call list, and don't call anybody that's on that list if you are concerned about that. That's what I would say. But I just can't, people come to me all the time and say, wholesaling's illegal. I'm like, what could be illegal? I'm going into contract on a property and I'm assigning the contract. Where's the illegal part? The only place where it's restricted is the state of Illinois, and the only restriction is that you need a realtor's license, which is ridiculously easy to get. So if they ever made that restriction in New York, I don't care. I'm a licensed broker. So I don't do anything illegal, right? I'm not going to jail over this business. Even the word illegal to me is so absurd. So no, cold calling is not illegal. If you want to call people, you can. If you're concerned about possible do not call registry violations, then scrub your list through that so that you won't call those people. But it's certainly not illegal. And the question was about a property that I'm going to do really well on, how I got there. It wasn't a cold call, that property. It was I sent emails to realtors, and this realtor responded with this property. But I just, it frustrates me when I speak to people who should have started doing what they're supposed to do in this business, which is calling sellers or marketing to sellers, and they come up with reasons that are crazy not to. So, for example, RVM's ringless voicemail is a tool that I use. It actually is not legal to do that in the state of Florida. Only the state of Florida. I don't think there's one other state where it's really illegal. Right? And what does this even mean, illegal? No one's coming to you and arresting you. What it means is that you could be possible to a subject fine. Now understand something. If you're ringless voicemailing, you're not doing it from your cell phone. Sorry. You're doing it through a service. That service then has to be subpoenaed to get to you. And if you're doing it in an LLC, the LLC can be fined. In worst case scenario, you can close the LLC and open a new LLC, right? I mean, so I do know a guy that got pinched for an RVM from a guy. Now when most of the services that I use will scrub the phone numbers through a known litigator list, right? There are known litigators, people who want to get an RVM or want to get a cold call and then say, I'm suing you, I'll settle for $5,000. So there are known litigators. So you want to avoid those. That's for sure. Sorry, I just cleaned something right off the camera. But this whole concept of everything being illegal, I've been listening to it for 10 years. If I worried about every possibility, I would never do anything. This is another thing I tell you. Do not ever ask an attorney whether you can do something in business unless it's a legal question. So here's what I mean. If you go to an attorney and say, hey, should I start a business that sells widgets online? He will say, well, you're subject to FTC laws, blah, blah, blah. He'll always be no. The job of an attorney is to limit your legal liability, right? Now, if you want to say, hey, I need a legal contract between me and my provider so that I know that if there's a problem, I'm covered. Can you help me write it? That's a good question for a lawyer. Don't ever ask an attorney a business question. Ever. Because you won't get anything done. If you are not interested in getting into this business, you can find 10 billion reasons not to. It's so easy, right? Now, I have the advantage of not only doing it successfully for a long time, but of being in groups of people that have done successfully for a long time. And I can tell you, a lot of these people didn't start for a long time because they were concerned they were doing something illegal. And I just don't see the real legal liability for almost everything we do. So I would not RVM in Florida and I would not wholesale in Illinois without a license. But both of those are very easy workarounds, right? You don't have to RVM in Florida. There's other ways to get in touch with people. And you can easily get a license if you're in the state of Illinois or you're operating in the state of Illinois. So it's frustrating to me to hear the millions of excuses people have. So I get calls all the time with something like, I heard wholesaling is illegal in Nevada, and that's where I am, so I can't operate anymore. What am I supposed to say? It's not. It's just not. I heard that you can't novate a contract in, where the hell was it? Some city in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's bullshit. All this is bullshit. It's just bullshit excuses to not get started. Okay? And I'm not angry at the guy who asked it. I'm angry at the general level of apocalyptic problems that people show to avoid getting into the business. Well, my attorney told me you can't do it. Do you know how many real estate attorneys in the state of New York know how to assign a contract? You can probably count them on your hands and your toes. Now, everybody knows about assignment contract. They say, oh, you now assigned it. It's not so good because you're going to be on the hook for blah, 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 blah. Again, don't ever ask an attorney a business question. Ever. Find an attorney who has done this 1,000 times, and they'll tell you how it's done. So I've ranted. I've ranted my rant. I really want to get a heavy bag here so I can punch it when I get frustrated. It's easier than me yelling at the screen, especially on recording. And it's hot as hell in here, and I'm getting calls nonstop during the 8 minutes and 48 seconds. I got 14 calls. So those are my thoughts. Cold call to your heart's content, right? There are certain ways. You're not going to don't cold call from your cell phone, right? Get a service, right? So a predictive dialing system like Mojo, Call Tools, Ready Mode. Use a system like that. And that creates an incredible barrier between you and whoever you're calling. They can't even get to you if they want to. Don't give your full name, give your first name, and don't give your company name, right? That'll avoid these litigators. And I've had people call me who I thought were trying to sue me. Hey, what's the name of your company? What? Why do you ask? Well, you called me and blah, blah. You have to use your brain. But guess what? If you're starting, you have nothing for them to steal and nothing for them to sue you for. So don't worry about it. Tell them to F off if they sue you. Tell them to stick it up their ass. Because you don't have any assets, right? You started an LLC, start a new LLC. It's another $200 to start a new LLC. $100 to start a new LLC, depending on the state. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com or learntoflipandwholesale.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help the algorithm. A lot more people have been watching my videos because a lot of you people have been who are you calling you people? A lot of you people have been clicking the likes, so thank you. And I post 5 times a week. I very rarely know what the hell to talk about, so your questions give me things to talk about. Keep the questions coming. You can ask any question. It does not have to be about the video you're watching. If it's something simple, I'll reply with an answer. If it's something I've covered recently, I'll send you a link to a video or videos on it. And if it's something I haven't covered in a long time or never covered before, I will do a brand new video on it. So thank you very, very much for watching.